Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day to be alive, isn't it, kids? Good morning. Welcome back to another vlog on my channel, and this time it is with the donut. To Flinty. He doesn't get to feature very often. You drew a haircut, aren't you, Flinty? He says I'm too furry. Right, so we are about to go off to go do some dressage. I need to quickly shove some plats in because Donut is T-minus 1 week from Osby Horse Trials, our first event of the season. You are being trailblazer of the squad, aren't you, Donny? He says yes, and it's very important. I lock the door. Stop doing that. So yes, we've got a week left of preparation to do, and today's preparation is to be getting him ready by going out for a dressage test, because I would say that is probably one of the hardest things to get Donut to do, because he is such a hothead, aren't you? Bit wild in the dressage. He was very fresh, very wild to school last night. I'm hoping he might be a little bit better today, but we'll see. The purpose of today is not to go and do amazing. It is simply just to get out on the lorry, do dressage, get back on the lorry and go home. Because realistically, he just needs to go and be platted and realise that it's not going to be like explode with excitement. And if he explodes with excitement today, then happy days. Hopefully we'll get it out of the system before Osby next week. And then we're heading cross-country schooling tomorrow. So very exciting, but I best get cracking because I've got about 20 minutes to get some plats in. So they're not going to be pretty. I'm just going to shove them in and get gone.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough for you.
Hello, Donutty. Good boy. Hi, buddy. You okay? There we go. We're here. We're at Elms Farm Equestrian Centre, which is about 20 minutes down the road. On the doorstep. A bit warm, mate. You can tell he's excited and he started sweating, bless him. Okay, so we are doing the prelim 1 and prelim 13, and I've just dropped into the office, and Elms Farm have kindly lent me a test sheet for the 13 because my BD tests are actually really old, so I didn't have the new 2016 version. I had the 2006 version, so I just went and asked them if I could just check if I had the right test, and basically so I could relearn it ready for my second test. Otherwise we'd be going wrong, and it's not like we're out here to compete, but I don't really want to get eliminated for just learning a wrong test. It seems a bit silly. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and get tacked up now. It's looking rather busy. Are you going to be a good boy? We'll see.
I wish you could be happy, yeah, yeah. But I can't lie. LA made you crazy, yeah, yeah. You don't care what's real no more, no, you don't want me anymore. You only want what you can afford. This is goodbye, bye. LA made you crazy, yeah, yeah. I see your stories and I can't believe
Okay then, let's have a little look at this test. Now we've only got the one test to watch because poor mum had a minor malfunction, and we've all done it before, that in test 2 that we did, she pressed the stop button instead of the start button and ended up holding the phone up and videoing the whole test without it actually recording, and getting terribly cold hands for the effort. So I'm feeling very, very sad for her poor cold hands when she could have actually just stood and watched the test. But hey ho, life happens. But like I say, there's only the one test to see. So this is our prelim 1. And we're just getting ready as we go around the ring. I think the judge had rung her bell by this stage, but I just wanted to come off of the right rein because Donut was feeling a little bit straighter on the right rein than the left. I feel like we've still got a lot of schooling to do, but this was a good chance to figure out where we were at for this stage. So initially we just needed to come down the centre line and at C track right. Judge's score was a 6.5 with active but a bit wobbly, which I think's fair. My feeling for the whole test was that I was just really having to look after his balance because we wiggled each way. So the next movement was a half circle to X, then a full circle at X, and then another half circle back to A. And we got a 7 with no comment. So the judge was obviously fairly satisfied with that. Personally, I would like him a bit softer in the base of his neck and his contact to be slightly steadier, with him more fluently bent around my inside leg. But by the same token, it's a fairly nice picture. Next movement is change the rein in working trot on the diagonal, and we also got a 7 for this. And I think, you can't get over how smart he actually is, bless him. And then our next move, we had to pop up to canter, and we got a 7, but on shoulders, and I felt he ran into that transition a little bit, so I think the judge was quite generous with that 7. And then our canter circle left, which was included in that 7, was much nicer, so probably where we gained the extra marks. We then had to canter down the long side and a transition to working trot, and a change of rein was included in this mark, and we got a 7.5. So it's important when you're riding your test to realise where your marks come from, because actually you might fluff up one element of the movement, but actually be able to pull it back a little bit in the rest of the elements. So we had quite a lot to do in order to gain that mark, with a transition to trot and a change of rein, and we were able to pull it probably back with our change of rein. So we then got a 7.5 for our transition to working canter right and our right circle, with a better balance this way, which I would agree. And then we got a 7 for our trot and walk transition. And you can just see he's just not quite round and through to his walk transition. But that being said, we know what our aim was coming out today. We wanted him to just come out and get a little bit of competition experience again and see how he would behave. And I must say he behaved immaculately. Honestly, he seems to know when we're competing. The day before, I had no brakes and he was liable to spin around at any moment. You then rock up at an event or a competition and look what a good boy he is. I was really pleased with that free walk on a long rein. It's hard doing the turn, and he had a really consistent stretch and a nice flowing walk, and he got a 7.5 for that as well. So then we do a half 10 metre circle right to the centre line, and that wasn't bad. It was quite accurate for me. And then we have to come to our halt, and we got a 7 for this move with not quite square, which is very fair. We then followed up with our scores. He got a 7 for his rhythm, 7 for his suppleness, 7 for his contact, and then the judge very kindly gave me 8s for my rider position and rider results. With a calm and accurate test, you rode him very well and helped him keep the balance. Well done, which, to be honest, I agree with. I think that we just sort of nursed around quite a neat little test. It wasn't a wowzers test, but did all right. Good boy, Donutty. Good boy. That's the first test down, isn't it, Mr. Donut? We didn't explode. We've been very well behaved, to the extent that he's done 2 warm-ups, because we went in with like 40 minutes to warm up, and you didn't need it, did you? So we came back, had a snack, a bit like what we're doing now, and then went back in, didn't we? So I'm going to get on him in about 5 minutes, and then we'll go and do our second test. Very well behaved, just a bit wiggly and in need of more balance. So this is the starting clip that Mum got of Donut just before he went in his test, before the malfunction, and I think you can see he's got a bit of a better way of going. Although he's just coming a bit against the bridle there, I felt like I had him stepping a bit more. I was able to get my leg more on him, which then could create a bit more expression in the paces, and it was just an all-round better picture here, and he was a bit more connected. So I was very pleased with him because he actually improved as he went on. Right then, we're home. Good boy, Donutty. He's wrapped up warm. It's ever so cold, isn't it, Donny? But he did really well. Now you got to wait because the fence has done up. That was very exciting. Good boy. Now I'm quickly sticking him out. 2 seconds. Oh dear. Dig the dog wants a roll. Please don't roll into the fence. Got everybody here. Good eggs. Are you doing a circle? Very gracious and majestic, Donut. See you in a minute, guys. Yeah, so we actually did really well, surprisingly. We weren't going to be competitive at all. It was just to serve the purpose of getting him out and about. But as it was, there was 15 people that went down the centre line in each class. And he came second both times on 72 and 73%. Yeah, so we're very, very impressed. We're now quickly nipping home, nip to the loo, grab a cup of tea, because then we're going straight out again with Maggie to take her cross-country schooling at Norton Disney. So I'll see you in a second. It is now Monday morning and I'm locked out of the lorry. Oh, still locked out of the lorry. There we go, I can get in. And we are heading off for an early morning cross-country schooling session.
Stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head. From all those pretty words you said, it's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am, it's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. Could you come a little closer now? 'Cause I don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath the stars. So let's get a little reckless. You make me breathless, and I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste it. promise that I will stand by you forever. And I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah.
Right then, you got to see us doing a little bit of a warm-up, and unfortunately this clip doesn't appear to be in focus, but this was our first little pop over a ditch, so I just did a very slow trot and pop and let him see and assess it. So we just warmed up by having a good old canter around, and then went and popped over the teeny tiny fences and just practiced stringing stuff together in a rhythm, and he did it very sweetly. Now he's started getting a bit keen and a bit cocky about the fences, and you can see I was just very quietly trying to be like, no, Donny, we do have to have some breaks and we do have to slow down for things. So he was quite wiggly coming through that ditch to the fence, but he did it. And if you remember, he really didn't like ditches when he first started doing cross country, so that's a good start. And I mean, this fence is probably on your meter combi, and he was pretty good, but he was leaning left and leaning on my left leg that last time, so I decided I would jump him through again and try and ask him to hold himself a little bit straighter. And I thought he was much better that time, and he makes such a lovely shape over the ditches. So bear in mind, Donny hasn't done any steps since October last year. I thought I'd best just pop him down the single step for starters, and then we went on to popping back up that step, and then I went right up to the top end of the field so that I could have a bit of a long canter back up to the bank, because I think this is where I'm going to find it difficult on the cross-country course, of the letting him go and then bringing him back. And then we came down the 2 steps, which he did really well. He divered and stopped and went sideways when we went down these 2 steps at Norton Disney BE at the back end of last year. So I was really pleased at him keeping that fluid forward motion. And you might notice I'm taking a little while to pull up because he was being quite strong. So rather than getting in a massive battle with him, I was trying to pick my battles and just very steadily pull him up where possible. And then he just went up those 2 steps as if it really was nothing. And usually on any other horse, that actually feels quite a big step up, and yet he just stepped up them rather than jumping up them. Right, you can see my brakes aren't the greatest, and I'm pleased to report that they do improve as we go on, but I was just pulling up and having a walk here and there. So then I was like, right, let's just do a little drop to a skinny combi to make him listen, and he did. And then I think I wanted to go on and jump the offset houses. Yes. So I lined them up, 2 nice offsets, easy peasy, it's barely even jumping. And then he just didn't really look at that last skinny, but he did stay straight. And that's my biggest worry with him at the minute, is I do not want to let him run past fences. He's got to know that he has to go in between the flags. So again, another pull up and have a walk. I assume I was just having a chat with Mum about where I was wanting to go next. And he looks happy as Larry, doesn't he? Yeah, look at me. Right, we're going to jump this one, and we're going to jump this one, and we're going to jump this one. And Donut is a good boy. So, come on then, Evie. Get going. Get cantering on. Off we go. Little trot. I hate trotting Donut on cross-country course. He feels like Mr. Tickles with his legs going everywhere because he's too keen to get on with the job and get going a bit quicker. So it looks like I'm planning on coming to these log piles now. 2 skinnies in a straight line, then turn to another. Do I build it up? He looks much better to a bigger fence. No, of course I don't build it up. Come straight to it. Good boy. Not the prettiest, but a lot more respectful for jumping slightly bigger and just sort of getting on it. It all looks very slow watching back on this video, but I can tell you it doesn't feel slow from sat on board. It feels quite speedy and quite powerful. Right then, are we going to go back again now? So this is much harder. We're doing a skinny, then we have to turn and line up 2 skinnies the other way. So we jumped that, we've turned. Woohoo! This is exciting. But he really did get on with the job. I know it's not the prettiest where he's just flicking his nose because he's a bit keen and fresh. But he did not think about running past the fences once. He never thinks of stopping. Very clever. And you can see how thrilled I really am with him. Looks like we are going to come and jump through the water. So he hasn't had a splash through. This was a bit of a test. Jump the skinny. Come canter through the water. Not even a hesitation. Fantastic. Locks onto the skinny. Much better. And I just feel like we're starting to get the teeniest, tiniest bit of extra control back at this stage. We're not sticking our head down and running as much after a fence. And he's making everything look supremely easy. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too much of an ask for Mr. Donutty. So again, we just had a little walk, came back to centre, and I'm just leaving these clips really raw and unedited so you can see how we school really. I think it's quite nice. It's proper behind the scenes, no editing out. Come round, pop the corner, loads better to a bigger fence. So that's the meter corner, and he just jumped it. He actually bothered to jump it rather than stepping over it. Come up to the novice boat, and he was really good. He was leaning a little bit right, which is where the head flick was, because I refused to let him fall out through the right shoulder. But he still cracked on and dealt with it, and you really wouldn't know that was meant to be a 110 boat, would you? Right then, drop into water, not messing about. He feels great, so I just decided to come straight in over the log drop. Little trot stride, easy peasy, and then might as well string a little skinny on the end. He's just making everything look so easy. Right, we are going to finish off by coming down the drop to the bigger skinny. So here is interesting because I was quite keen to make sure that he saw the skinny. So you can see I will go wide as I come up the step, and then I turned him for the skinny, and I actually oversteered, and then I had to bring him back to the left, and he had every opportunity to run out there, and he was like, no, it's fine. He did 1 stride right, 1 stride left, and jumped over the skinny. So I was so super proud of him there, because that is just starting to show off what a machine is going to be. So I'm keen to replay this again so you can see when I realise I've made the error of oversteering him. I open my left hand here, it's open, and my right hand comes across, and that actually, my action I'm doing there is I'm opening the door and I'm trying to neck rein him left, because you've literally got a split second chance to get him there, and that wasn't a small skinny, so he really needed to know where he was going so you could crack on and take off. So we opened our hand in the direction we wanted him to go, and we closed our hand in the other direction to sort of close that gate and give him an opportunity to square up to where he needed to be. Then I obviously came round and did it again, being the perfectionist that I am, and I just didn't try as hard on the steering front, and look how easily he just flew over that. So I was overall absolutely thrilled with him. I really didn't think he could do any more. Bless him, for his first schooling back on grass since October. He's really come on a lot, and we just finished off with this lovely little combi where we popped through the 2, and that oxer was the meter oxer, and he makes it look like it should be 80 centimetres. So yeah, overall chuffed. Good boy.
I know that you're trying to fix me, but I don't wanna be like you. Say no, I'm not like you, I don't think that you get it. You should go and get out, I'll make you regret it. Someone like you should worry about, maybe your two's upside down. And I'm not like you, I don't think that you get it. I don't wanna put on a smile, everybody expects me to. So you can keep your suit and your tie, gotta hope that it strangles you. Yeah, I do. You buy shit you don't need to impress the ones you hate. That's so f***ed up. Cause everything you own just ends up owning you. So, dear society, you...
There we go. That's a Donutty away. I've just cleaned out the lorry and come round and parked it up in its usual parking spot. I just washed Donut's legs and belly down just to... I don't like leaving water complex water on their legs just in case there's ever anything in the water. He actually came home from Asking Brian with filled legs where I think he'd got a little nick and it got a little bit of infection in there. So I'm really thorough and make sure that their legs and belly have been washed down where they've been splashed. And then I spray his legs down with like a hypochlorous spray, which is a bit of a disinfectant, just to make sure that if there is any nicks or grazes, we've sorted them out that aren't visible. And also if there's any nasties on the water on him, then I've just given his skin a bit of a disinfect. Yeah, so that is it. I'm so thrilled with Mr. Donut. He was a bit of a wiggly worm. You can feel he's still green, and he was very, very keen and fresh, especially as this was his first time back out on grass. But I thought he was great. I feel like he was a bit easier to ride at the bigger fences, which is interesting. Maybe makes for an exciting season. And overall, you know, dressage yesterday, he was so much better than I thought he would be. He can be quite a hot head. I think sometimes on the videos you see him behaving great, and I need to get more behind the scenes of where he plays up in the arena at home, because it's often when I'm just schooling by myself in the evening and he just goes, bah, I can't stop. And I sort of nearly crash into things, but you know, we've worked through all of that and it's obviously paid off because he's been a really good boy in the arena. Then a keen bean, great out jumping. So I'm feeling really prepared. Our last bits of preparations for Osby will be, he'll go on a hack. I might see if I can get some speed training done just so I can get a feel for the speed he needs to be travelling at cross country. He'll run through his dressage tests once or twice, and I will give him a bit of a school in the arena at home over some fences, probably get my skinny poles out and a bit of a show jump just to tune him up ready for Sunday. But that is it. That is the main part of our prep done. He's feeling fit, he's feeling great. And then just to finish off, I thought now would probably be a good time to chat to you about some changes that have gone on in my life. So, where to start? So, I guess the best place to start is that obviously I seem to have a lot more flexibility lately. Previously, I would not have been able to go out cross-country schooling on a Monday morning and then flexi my work hours around like I am doing today. That is because I've left my job where I was at EM Farmer. I've left it and I've actually gone into partnership with my mum with her business, and she's got a fantastic business called Equinization, and she does all the bookkeeping, business advice, credit control and the likes for small businesses that they need the work doing, but they don't need to employ somebody full time. So she does that. And a lot of her clients were in need of somebody to do marketing and website design, etc. And lo and behold, I can do all of that sort of thing. So basically, I've gone into a partnership with Mum. I can pick up any of her overflow admin, but I already have a very good book of lovely, lovely clients that I'm working with, which just means that my office hours can move. I mean, there's times when obviously I need to be in meetings and they're fixed, but the rest of the time I'm able to shift it around me. So this morning I said, right, it's a yard day this morning, and then we're then going into the office in the afternoon. And obviously you guys know that I do my teaching as well, so that can also flex around in the manner of when it's school holidays and the likes. It means that I can turn around and say I'm going to do a clinic day here, and I'll just work a Saturday in the office. So I am still working full-time hours in the office, don't you worry guys. I am working hard. The eye bags, can't really see them, got my hat on to hide it. The eye bags are strong. I am still working a full-time office job, but I am doing it slightly differently. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm enjoying working with the variety of clients. I'm enjoying working from home, where I get to have my doggies underneath the desk. And I'm enjoying doing the more creative job. I must admit, marketing was more the thing that I originally thought I'd get into. I could probably do a video on like what I've done on my career so far, because I'm 26, but I feel like I've had quite a journey from, oh, I'm going to be a professional rider, to, oh, I'm going to work an office job, and then all of the steps that I've done through that, to now getting to where I'm starting to feel really happy and settled with where I'm at. So that has been very exciting. Quite a shock to the system to get used to the change of and everything, and quite a lot of work getting the office set up, because of course Mum had a little home office set up, and we've actually gone to a bigger room and a much more professional setup now. But really exciting things with the business going on, all of that growing, which is great. And I get to see so many different things. We get to do loads of different things like recruiting people, and I don't know, it's fun. But so yeah, that's one of the big changes going on in my life. And another part of it is that I have also been selected to be part of the Wesco Equestrian Foundation this year, which is an amazing foundation that's been put together to create these young event rider pathways, and they offer training and support and mentorship from some of the best trainers in the world. You've got the likes of Pippa Funnell on there, Nicola Wilson, Dickie Waygood, the list goes on. It's amazing. And I applied, and gratefully they accepted me onto it. So I'm so excited for that. And that kicks off at the end of this month. And that's another reason why I kind of need to have a bit more flexibility in life in order to be able to go and go to the training days that might be during the week and the likes. But I am so excited to grab this opportunity with both hands and see what we get to learn. And I'm hoping, I'm obviously going to ask permission, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to vlog all of these training days as well, so you guys can come along with us. And yeah, that's it. So like I say, a few vlogs ago I said there's been a lot of changes going on, and they're good, but it's taken the energy, and here it is. That's what's been going on. But I'm really happy with where we are at now. I feel like I'm at a stage that I can build and grow, and I'm very grateful for how the horses are feeling, etc. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more of me, make sure that you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Say no.